In this video, we will show you how to replace your front outside mirror on this Ford F-150. This will be mounted to your front door. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. We're going to start along the center of the door panel. Let's remove our switch panel from this area. For this, I'm using a plastic trim tool. We're just going to make our way right along this groove, gently pressing and prying. There we are. Now along the bottom of that panel, we can see that we have several electrical connectors. Let's start disconnecting those. For each of these, you're going to find that they have a locking tab. You just want to find it, press it in, disconnect it. A quick inspection for corrosion as we continue on down the line. Let's set this aside. We have that out of position. The next thing we need to do is focus along this inboard corner. Looking just inside of this area, you're going to find a mounting bolt. On ours, it looks as though it's been replaced. I'm using a 10 millimeter. Now I'm just going to use a magnet. I don't want to drop this inside of the door. A quick inspection of all of our hardware as we continue on. Let's make our way directly above that, in and behind our inside door handle. I'm using my pocket screwdriver right along the top of this plastic panel. You're going to find that you have a small port that you should be able to make your way in. We'll remove that panel, set it aside. Now that exposes our two 8 millimeter headed mounting bolts. We'll remove the pair. Now we're going to remove the inside door handle. Along the forward side, there should be a small locking tab. For that, typically you just make your way under and pry it out and away. Now we're going to take this at an angle and start pulling it forward. This is going to expose our cable. Let's start removing the cable from the back side of the inside door handle. For this, we're going to take hold of this area of the cable as close to the handle as possible and pull it towards this opening in the slotted area. Sometimes you can do this by hand, other times you may have to use pliers. Now we can see where the cable is going to have to go next. Let's just go ahead and pivot that, and we'll bring it out through its slot right down at the very end here. Just a quick inspection of that cable, and an inspection of the inside handle, and we'll set that aside. Let's start removing our speaker grill cover. For this, I'm going to be using a pocket screwdriver and my plastic trim tool. Let's start up along the top area here. Now, if you were to make your way up approximately an inch up this grill cover, we're going to gently press in with our pocket screwdriver and gently start prying out. There's a locking tab here. Now, while I'm holding pressure there, I'm just going to use my trim tool so I can continue on. Okay, this is starting to separate now. Let's carefully start pulling it out and away. There's going to be several other locking tabs. They all should dislodge fairly easily. That exposes our door speaker. You're going to find that you have four 5.5 millimeter mounting screws holding this in place. Now there should be one right here. This one doesn't look like it was holding on to anything. Go ahead and pull that out of place. You're going to find that you have an electrical connector. You know what to do. Find the locking tab, press it in, disconnect it. We'll set that aside. Now down along the bottom of the speaker port, we're going to look for two small adapters. There's one right here, and there should be a second one there. We want to remove the pair. There is, of course, two others up along the top, but we don't need to worry about those. Down here, one of ours is missing. That's okay. We're going to continue on with a 1/4 inch socket. If you were to look along the back side of here, you can see where the plastic adapter protrudes through the door, so I'm just pressing that socket up against the back side of the adapter. That's going to squeeze on the locking ears, and we should be able to pull this out of place. So you can see that. I just pressed it right up against there and pulled it out. Repeat the process for the other lower mounting point as well, assuming you have one. Now we're moving down along the bottom of the door panel. If you were to feel along this area, you're going to find that you have two notches, just like this right here. Inside of each of those notches, you're going to find a 6mm headed mounting bolt. We'll remove each of those. Let's get our next one on the far side there. Now let's take hold of the door panel. We're going to start gently lifting it up high enough that it makes its way over to our door lock knob. Now we can remove the door panel from the door itself. Set that aside. With the door panel out of the way, let's pay attention in this area here. This is where we can see our 3 pieces of mounting hardware and our electrical wiring harness. Has a locking tab. Locking tab's right here. We'll just go ahead and squeeze on that. I'm using my pocket screwdriver. Quick inspection for corrosion. We're using an 11mm for each one of these 3 mounting nuts. For the first one, we're going to fully loosen it. Just a quick inspection, start it back on a couple threads while we continue on. Now we're going to reach along the other side of the door. We're squeezing the mirror towards the door while we remove our final piece of mounting hardware. Just get that off of there. Remove the mirror from your door. There it is, friend. Once you have the mirror removed, the next thing we have to do is clean and inspect the mounting surface, confirming it's not rotted, weak, or damaged in any way. I'm using some glass cleaner directly on a clean rag. Obviously, you want to be careful not to scratch your paint. We do just want to give this a close inspection. Now it's time to install our brand new outside mirror. We're going to take this and carefully get it in position. We don't want to scuff any paint. When you go to bring this in, you may find that it doesn't necessarily fit flush. That's due to the seal that's behind here. Once you install all 3 of your mounting nuts, everything should fit securely. We'll gently hold this against the door and continue on the inboard side. Put that one on there. Once you have all 3 pieces of hardware started on there, go ahead and snug them up. Just go around one more time, double checking. Let's take hold of that mirror. We're going to attempt to give it a wiggle. It should not pull away from the door. We know it's secure. Let's go ahead and reconnect our electrical connector. Listen for an audible click, a light tug confirming it's secure. Now it's time to get ready to install our door panel. Looking along the back side of the door panel, you're going to find that you have several hooks making their way all the way around the door panel. And if you're looking at the door itself, you're going to find the slots for those hooks to fit into. One more thing, when we bring the door panel over, we're going to have to come up nice and high so we can bring the door panel port over our door lock knob. We'll make sure we have the door in the unlocked position. Start bringing this over. We're looking for our door lock knob to slide through here. You may need to align things as necessary. Now it's starting to come through, so I'm just going to lift up on the door panel itself just enough that I can align my hooks with their corresponding ports. We'll press the door panel up against the door and bring it all the way down as far as possible. Now that we have the door lock knob in the proper positioning, let's make sure that we also have access to our wiring harnesses. This can cause an issue where you can't push the door panel up against the door. You can definitely see our speaker wiring harness as well. Let's get this in position. Once you have it pressed down, we'll just check all the way around to make sure we're properly seated. Now it's time for our door speaker. Along the bottom area here of the port, we should have our two plastic adapters. As you remember, one of ours is broken, and it's actually still stuck to the speaker, so I'm just going to leave it there. Once we have the adapters in place, we're going to continue on with our electrical connector. Just go ahead and line that up, press it in, listen for a click. After that audible click, a light tug. Let's get this in position. Start with the wiring harness side first, and we'll roll it into position. Start in all 4 of your mounting bolts and snug them up. And obviously there's one in this corner as well. Now we have our door speaker grill. Start getting this in position. We're aligning all of our tabs. Flex it as necessary. Press it in. There we are. Now we're going to make our way up into this area. Before we start reinstalling our panel with our switches, we're going to make sure we install our anchor bolt first. That's going to go inside this rearward corner. Now it's time for our switch panel. Let's start reconnecting our electrical connectors. We're going to start with the gray first. Just want to align this, press it in, listen for a click. That's for the mirror switch. Now we have our door lock switch, green connector. Moving along, it's time for our window switch. Go blue next. And then our dark gray. Now looking at this, you can see we have 3 locating tabs. The door panel has 3 ports. Line it up, press it in. Inside door handle next. We're going to be taking the cable end, we'll slide it through that circular port, bring it down through this groove, and we're going to lock it down in this area here. It's a little tight. Okay, we've got that through. Pivot it over, line it up, lock it in. If you need to, you can try to use some pliers on this. You just want to be careful not to cause any damage along the way. Just press it in. Okay. I have an audible click from that. I'm giving it a tug, trying to slide it out from this groove. It should not slide out. If it does, the cable itself could be broken or the inside door handle. Either way, it must be secured, otherwise your door handle may not function properly. Let's start bringing this into position. We're going to press this side in first, and then we'll lock it down with the forward side. An audible click there. 2 8mm headed mounting bolts inside this port. Just want to make sure they're both started in. Reinstall your protective panel. As for the protective panel, we're going to start at the bottom first. You can see it has these 2 locating tabs. Those are going to slide into their slots down on the bottom. Just line it up, press it in on the top. Double check to make sure that's seated in there. We'll continue on along the bottom of the door panel next. Along the bottom of the door panel, we have our 2 1/4-inch headed mounting bolts. Just start them both in. Once they're both started, you can snug them up. Okay, friend, we finished the installation of our outside mirror. The next thing we have to do is put the key in the on position and test the functionality of the mirror itself. We're going to be using the mirror switch for this. We'll make sure we turn it counterclockwise, and you can adjust the mirror as necessary. Aside from that, you also want to make sure you test the inside door handle to confirm it functions as it should, because we did have to dislodge the cable. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.